Parshas Korach deals, among other things, with the kahuna, the priesthood, because that was part of the challenge of Korach to Moshe Rabbeinu. Ki chol ha'am kadeshim, everybody is holy. Why are you in charge? Why is Aaron in charge? Why is he the kohen? So therefore the Torah goes through again once some of the halachas of the kahuna. The pasuk says, Kol trumas hakodashim asher yarum b'nei Yisrael Hashem nasati l'chol avanecha livnei secha. The kodshim, the korbanos, the Rebbeinu I've given to you Aaron, and your descendants, for the service that you perform in the Beis Hamikdash. Vayemer Hashem al Aaron ba'atzam le'sinchol v'chelech lo yeh l'cha b'seicham. As a result, you will not have a portion in Eretz Yisrael. Shevet Kahuna, Shevet Levi did not have a chelik in Eretz Yisrael. They had no property in Eretz Yisrael. You know why? The pasuk says, "Lo yechel b'sechem ani chelkacha v'nachal." Because I am your portion. The Beis Hamikdash, I am your portion. And then the pasuk says, "B'seich b'nei Yisrael." You, the kohen, you Aaron HaKohen, will be b'seich b'nei Yisrael. See, I believe it's the Chassam Sofer, says that expression, b'seich b'nei Yisrael, is somewhat incongruous. This is talking about Aaron HaKohen. Aaron HaKohen is the holiest man among Klal Yisrael. He's the high priest. He's the only person that's allowed to go into the Kodesh Kodashim once a year. He is the epitome of Kedusha, of holiness. Usually we do not associate the person who's so holy, b'seich b'nei Yisrael, amongst the people. And here the pasuk says, you're my chelik, etc., etc., you're my portion, b'seich b'nei Yisrael. Which means in spite of your Kedusha and your holiness and the fact that you are, removed from the people, that did not affect you. And Aaron had this incredible koyach to be that Aaron, to be that Ish Kodesh, and yet dealt with people. He's the person that dealt with the Shalom Bayis problems in Klal Yisrael. He had to be with the people, had to understand people. Aaron had this amazing koyach that he could be holy, Kodesh Kodashim, the holy of the holiest, but nevertheless that he was able to mediate between husband and wife, understand the problems of regular people. That was Aaron HaKohen. Now, in our day and age, we have also many holy people. And not everyone has this ability to be such a holy person and be b'seich b'nei Yisrael. One person that did have that koyach was Rabbi Feinstein, Zecher Tzadik Livracha. I don't know how many of you ever had any contact with Rabbi Feinstein. I met him once at a chasana, spoke to him very briefly. But Rabbi Feinstein had such an effect on the entire Klal Yisrael that it was on Tainus Esther that Rabbi Feinstein was nifter, and I went and took my son, who was at that time almost bar mitzvah, and I took him to New York, the Lower East Side, to be at the levaya of Rabbi Feinstein. There was 100,000 people, or maybe 300,000 people. It was amazing. What made a roshim on me is the variation of people, the different types of people that were at this levaya from the entire spectrum of Judaism. Charedim, Yeshivish people, Hasidish people, Sfardim, Ashkenazim, more modern people. I mean, I remember a woman there. She was dressed perfectly all right, but it was obvious that she was not a Beis Yaakov type of girl, woman. And she came to Ramesh Feinstein's levaya. Why? Because everybody felt an affinity towards Ramesh Feinstein. He was a Kodesh Kodashim, but he was b'seich b'nei Yisrael. I want to share with you two stories. There was a person who was learning in his yeshiva, Mesivta Teres Yerushalayim on the Lower East Side. And every so often, every few weeks, a woman would come into Ramesh's office and sit down with Ramesh Feinstein and spend several minutes there and then leave. Curiosity killed the cat. What does this woman have to discuss every several weeks with Ramesh Feinstein? And what is Ramesh Feinstein? The Pesach Hador, whose telephone did not stop ringing. Why is he spending time with this woman? So he had the temerity to ask Ramesh Feinstein, what does this woman want from you? So he says, this woman is originally from Russia. She has a relative there in Russia who writes to her every so often in Yiddish. She can't read Yiddish. She wants to know what the letter says. So Moshe Feinstein, Gadol Hador, Pesach Hador, sits there and reads the letter and tells this woman what her relative in Russia still wants. B'seich b'nei Yisrael. Kodesh Kadoshim, b'seich b'nei Yisrael. And the other story I want to share with you is, it's an amazing story also. Ramesh Feinstein used to give the Shir Klali. In the yeshivas, something called the Shir Klali, which is the major lecture that the yeshiva gives to the Talmidim. Ramesh Feinstein did this on Friday mornings, which by me is itself a chiddush, but okay. Anyway, so the Ramesha would give the shir from whatever from 10 to 11, 11 to 12, whatever it was. And invariably, a woman from the street would come into the yeshiva, open to the doors of the base medrash, and would say, Rebbe, wenn sind man Licht? Which means, this is the middle of the shir. When do we light candles for Shabbos? And Ramesh Feinstein would interrupt the shir and tell her, 6:13. Okay. Now, you do not need to be the Gadol Hador to paskin when Lichtbenchen is. You can even get a calendar, I'm sure, from Tiferes Yerushalayim, and you'll know. And if you can't, you can get one from Ner Israel, or you can get one from all the institution in this country. Or a calendar. When's Lichtbenchen? So why was it necessary for Ramesh Feinstein to interrupt his Shir Klali to tell this woman when you bench Licht? Why couldn't he put a guy outside and say, listen, when this woman comes, tell her what Lichtbenchen is? I would not do that. But Ramesh did. And that's no wonder why there were hundreds of thousands of people, or at least 100,000 people, at his Levaya. He was a man of the people. Many people can be the man of the people. To be the holiest the holy and the man of the people is a unique talent. That was Aaron HaKohen. That was Ramesh Feinstein.